I'm Kyle.
And I'm Bryce. And we're the Ghost Hunters.
We're here at Studio City Sound where Nirvana recorded their famous album, Nevermind.
It's rumored that Kurt Cobain haunts these halls after hours. Let's go check it out. Wow, there's a lot of music history that's happening in this studio.
So are you the ghost of Kurt Cobain?
Hey man.
Can we ask you some questions?
Sure.
Let's start at the beginning. When were you born? What kind of childhood did you have growing up?
Well, I was born on February 20th, 1967 in Aberdeen, Washington. My parents were Wendy and Donald Cobain. Life was pretty good for a while. My mom stayed at home. My dad worked as a mechanic at the gas station. I had a sister that was 3 years younger than me. Everything was pretty normal until my parents got divorced when I was 8. This was a tough time. How did you start playing guitar? My mom's side of the family was very musical. My aunt was in a band that played small gigs around town. She bought me my first guitar. I loved listening to the Beatles growing up. I wanted to be John Lennon.
So how did you do in school?
I spent most of my high school years smoking dope, cutting class, and arguing with my mom. I didn't take it seriously. I walked out 6 weeks before graduation. My mom was upset. She wanted me to go to art school, and all I wanted to do was play music. So I was on the street, living under the North Aberdeen Bridge, putting graffiti on walls. You lived under a bridge? I had nowhere else to go. This is when I started doing a lot of drugs.
So did you play a lot during this time?
Yeah, I did. I had a concert in 1989 in Portland, Oregon, where I met some great people. Then, in 1990, I met someone I was really attracted to, Courtney Love. She was in a band called Hole. I fell in love. I remember sending her a heart-shaped box filled with seashells and pine cones. You said a heart-shaped box. Isn't that one of your songs? Yeah, I wrote a song about the box I gave to Courtney. So you got married, right? Yeah, in February of '92, Courtney and I got married and had little Frances Bean that August.
But wasn't your daughter taken away from you?
Yeah, we lost custody of little Frances Bean because we were using drugs around an infant. It was a hard time.
So let's talk about something a little more upbeat. Why don't you tell me about the grunge movement?
The grunge movement started in the late 80s. My bandmates and I listened to a lot of different Seattle bands like Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and Alice in Chains. I didn't like the hair bands that were big in rock music in that time. That wasn't me. I wanted to play what I want and what I felt. I didn't go planning on creating a new music, it just happened. So the grunge movement was more than just a type of music though. It was a way to dress, act, and live. Yeah, that was strange. I never had money to buy clothes and things, so I shopped at the Salvation Army. I wore old used clothes all the time and people started copying me.
So what kind of sound did grunge bands like Nirvana have?
Grunge music sounded like garage bands with rough edges. The music wasn't polished like studio music, it was raw. It was fast and basic, but it was melodic and memorable at the same time.
Where did the word grunge come from?
You know, I don't think anyone really knows, but I think it had something to do with the way I dressed on stage, and just that a lot of people thought that our music was messy and dirty. So grunge music was becoming popular, right? Yeah.
Did you like that?
Nah, not really. It was strange to have people want to dress like you, and I didn't like how popular I was becoming. So what about some of your accomplishments? Well, Nirvana had a record-breaking year in 1992 when our song Smells Like Teen Spirit was released. We won an MTV Music Award for Best Alternative Video. What was strange was that after I died, Nirvana still won an award. We won a Grammy for Best Alternative Music Performance. But I didn't care about winning those stupid awards anyway.
So you talked about winning an award after you died. Would you like to tell us a bit about your death?
I'd gone into rehab for drug use and left by climbing over the wall. Nobody knew where I was for days. I went back to my home, took some heroin and shot myself. Man, I was depressed at that time. Fame is a weird thing and it's hard to handle sometimes. I was doing a lot of drugs and I just did what I thought would make me feel better. I took my own life on April 5th, 1994.
So you're 27?
Yeah, a part of the club. I don't know if it's a curse or just coincidence, but many great musicians died at 27. Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin.
And Kurt Cobain.
You made a huge impact on the music world, and the world lost a great talent that day.
You know what? I didn't like doing interviews when I was alive, and my mind hasn't changed now. Why don't you guys just take off and then I'll get back to doing my thing.
Okay. Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, whatever.
Thanks for talking to us, Kurt Cobain.
You don't need dead.